Nashville Sports Radio.
Bundling home and car insurance with Geico is so easy, your neighbors are probably already doing it. But who? They may drop little hints like,
beautiful day out. Even more beautiful since we saved by bundling our home and car insurance with Geico.
or
Yard work is hard. Much harder than bundling with Geico, which was easy.
it may be even subtler, like,
Speaking of burgers, we bundled our home and car insurance with Geico and saved a bunch of money.
bundling is easy with Geico. Just ask your neighbors.
In uncertain times, you can be certain of this. The Salvation Army is serving those most in need with help and hope. Thanks to your donations, the Salvation Army is helping those affected by COVID-19, those who've lost wages, who have no home to retreat to, who need food, help with utilities, and most of all, hope. To see how you can continue to make a difference, visit GiveWestwood.org. GiveWestwood.org.
You can't handle the truth.
It's about to go off.
Live from the WNSR Strike and Spare Studios.
Just a bit outside.
It's the McFarland Show with Darren McFarland and Fox 17's Justin McFarland.
Show me the money!
Call now at 615-844-5600.
Oh, righty then.
Now, the McFarland Show with Darren and Justin.
And a good Wednesday afternoon to you. And yes, it is time for the McFarland Show here on Nashville Sports Radio. Darren and Justin here with you. Strike and Spare Family Fun Center studio. Cousin Devlin is alongside for the next 2 hours. You can watch us every day. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. Tomorrow, we will be on after the Atlanta Braves game. They begin their season. First pitch at 12:05 our time. So whenever that is, I think they're playing Washington. They're in Washington against the Nationals. I think that's right.
I think that's right.
We're going to have Chris Domino on in the second hour. He can tell us.
Oh, boy. Love talking baseball with him.
I know.
He's awesome.
He is awesome. So he will join us in the second hour. Alex Doherty, we'll talk a little Preds with him.
Yes, they are in Washington.
In 10 minutes. So against the Nationals. So whenever that game concludes, remember, new rules. We'll be talking about this throughout the course of this season. It'll be an adjustment. A lot of people have not figured this out yet. I get it.
Yeah.
You're not watching spring training games. I get it. It's cool. Nobody's asking you to, but it's going to hit you at some point like, whoa, wait a minute. What is that?
Yeah.
What are they doing there?
Yeah.
So it will indeed. Did it speed up spring training games? Yes.
Yes.
Will it speed up regular season games? I don't know. We're about to find out.
We will, because and I wonder, the other thing that's included with this is commercial time. And there is got to be more commercials in the regular season than they are for spring training. So I just wonder if that's going to play into the that game time there as far as, first pitch to last out for MLB. And one more thing, and again, we'll get into this in the second hour. I'm just looking at the schedule for tomorrow. There is a lot of games happening in the northern region of the country. I would think they would aim more south and west, but there are games tomorrow in Washington, in New York, in Boston, in Chicago, in Cincinnati, in Kansas City. So, they're not shying away from the weather.
And we'll see if those games happen or not. Usually, some don't. That's usually how it works.
Yeah.
Especially like the first couple weeks of the season.
Get the snow out.
Yeah. So keep that in mind. We'll talk to Chris at about 3:15 today. Looks like there's been a lot of basketball movement today. I don't know if you've seen this. What happens with success? You usually get a bigger job.
Oh, yeah.
Kennesaw State has lost their coach. He is going to South Florida, which is down in Tampa.
Mm-hmm.
That is Vince Ferrar's, our buddy. That's his alma mater.
Okay.
South Florida.
The Bulls, right?
Yes, the Bulls. That is correct. So Kennesaw State's coach will capitalize a program that was basically at the bottom of the heap about 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And the next thing you know, they almost won a tournament game this year. Should have won a tournament game. I know, because I picked them to win a tournament game, and they totally gagged it away. But that's neither here nor there.
Yeah.
he's moving on to South Florida.
Their football team rises up occasionally as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, not all the time. You know, I think they've been really down lately.
I think their baseball team flirted. Their baseball team was in the regionals or super regionals. I think they were in the NCAA tournament last year as well. I watched the UAB. I watched a good portion of the UAB Utah Valley game last night.
Okay.
UAB did punch their ticket into the final of the NIT.
What do you know about Utah Valley now that you didn't know before?
That's where I'm going with this.
Okay.
Their head coach, I had no idea. Mark Matson.
Oh, wow.
You know, the bad dancer of the Lakers.
Yeah.
Nobody remembers him for his basketball skills.
Yeah.
Because he's really just a bench guy.
Yeah.
It was really more about the parades every time the Lakers won. His bad dancing.
Awkward-looking guy on the end of the bench for the Lakers.
Yes.
Wow.
Mark Matson.
Wow.
Is their head coach.
I wasn't ready for that at all.
Actually, was their head coach.
Okay.
Because all the reports today is he's going to be the next coach at Cal.
Okay.
So he's going to the Pac-12.
Going further west.
Utah Valley to the Pac-12. Not bad.
Man.
I think I read this morning, Utah Valley. Remember, I told you, I admitted when we were talking about the NIT and Vanderbilt's run, I was like, I don't have a clue, Utah Valley. I've never heard of Utah Valley.
Yeah.
Never even heard of
Utah State.
Sure.
You know, been out there, figure that out. But Utah Valley.
I've heard of Valley Girls. I've just never heard of Utah Valley.
Valley Girls, yes.
But not Utah Valley.
No.
Well, I watched last night and learned a lot. And apparently the last 2 seasons, this season and last year, Mark Matson in Utah Valley, they won 48 games.
Nice.
So,
okay.
Yeah.
Huh.
But he's moving on to Cal. At least that's what all the reports say.
Wow.
We did see this where Rodney Terry was given the 5-year deal with Texas. I think that was the right move. You had to, right?
Yeah.
They didn't have a choice.
You can't dismiss him after that.
Right.
Yeah.
You can't. Although schools have.
Oh, yeah.
But in that case, you just can't. They're giving him $3 million per.
You probably shouldn't. Yeah.
Chris Beard, ousted in the middle of the season. He takes over and takes them further than they've been in a long time.
Yeah.
Which is hard to believe. It's Texas.
Yeah.
But they had not been that far in a long time.
Good for him.
So he does get the 5-year extension. Also, VCU, their coach, Mike Rhodes, headed to Penn State. Headed to Penn State. Coaching shuffle, a lot like the portal.
Yeah. So
I was going to say, speaking of the portal, Zach Edey, the reports are he's entering the portal and leaving Purdue.
Okay. Wow. Okay. So the speculation, because I was listening to some of the reports from Purdue, because I wanted to hear the disappointment. I wanted to hear, what they were thinking. How did this happen? And the reports were that they felt, the local people there in Purdue and West Lafayette, they felt like he really enjoyed his time there, and that if he was going to continue to play college basketball, he was going to do so there. So this is going to come as a bit of a surprise that he's going to continue his college basketball career elsewhere. They thought maybe he would go to the pros or maybe go overseas or somewhere like that. They did not think he was just going to go play basketball somewhere else. So, wow, or college basketball. Go play college basketball somewhere else. So that's very interesting.
Here's the question I have. I heard this for years because it really was directed at John Calipari, and I used to say, yeah, well, that's great that everybody thinks Kentucky's the one-and-done school, but give me a break. Okay, you're not paying attention.
Yeah.
Kansas, North Carolina, Duke, there's a lot of blue bloods that are doing one-and-dones. Okay, so I get it. You keep on acting like Kentucky's the only one-and-done school. It's not. Okay, they're all doing one-and-dones too. And so I guess a lot of people felt like there was this notion out there that you can't win with one-and-dones because you can't build any chemistry. You can't, right? It's like, how do you build anything? There's no experience. They're here one day, they're gone the next.
Yep.
How can you do that? How can you make that work? You can't make it work. It's killing college basketball. Okay. It hasn't, but there was a lot of people that said that, right?
Yes.
So here's the question I have for those folks. By the way, one and done has gotten bigger than ever. isn't the transfer portal the same thing? Look at these rosters now. The rosters are shifting constantly.
Yeah.
1 year you have one roster. The next year you have almost a completely different roster because of the portal.
Yeah.
Vanderbilt's lost what? What's the count?
Oh,
4?
I don't know.
5?
Yeah. At least.
We just had Nick McDevitt on last Friday. They didn't lose a single person
Yeah.
the last offseason. This offseason, he's
Yeah.
lost 5.
Yeah.
5. So isn't it the same concept? You're bringing in new people and shuffling your roster around all the time.
Yeah.
So don't you feel the same way about basically everybody?
What it's turned into.
UAB's roster, by the way. Remember,
Yeah.
that's what Nick McDevitt
Yeah.
told us.
Well, they have 5
that's
seniors.
all it is.
Yeah, but they have 5 seniors, but the seniors were from elsewhere.
From the SEC.
Yeah, from the SEC. So to me, what it's turned into, because when you think of one and done, what you think of is one and then going to the NBA.
Right.
And that's not what this is. This is NIL transfer portal style. So what it's turned into, Darren, is the NFL free agency is what it's turned into, or the NBA offseason, where you got guys who are playing a year and then shuffling around, getting cut or getting traded, even though I know that's not happening here. But what you're going to end up with is about, in the NFL right now, what is it, around 35 to 40% roster turnover in the NFL every single year? About that many people. We've got things happening here in the studio.
What's going on below us?
We've got the folks working underneath us. I think it's okay. Unless something opens up on the floor here and they pop up, maybe they want a segment.
Clearly, they don't know we're doing a radio show.
Or don't care.
Or don't care.
Both. They gotta work. They gotta do what they gotta do.
Or both.
They've been working on that thing down there for a while, as you know.
Yeah.
So you think this little thing's good? No, not in. They got a lot of money on the line. I know people on the line like, what are they talking about? We share a building with another company, and they're working on some things.
Yeah,
that's all.
We're above them.
Yes,
they're below us, and apparently they're doing work.
They're getting around to doing their thing. So all I'm saying is this, Darren. In the NFL, you end up with around 35 to 40% turnover of your roster every single year, and the same thing is going to happen in college basketball now. You're going to end up with around 35, 40% roster turnover every single year, where before it was probably around 15 to 20%.
Oh, I think it was less.
Yeah.
When it was sit out a year or they can block you, it was less.
Yeah.
It really was. You could actually keep up with it. Like you knew who transferred.
Pretty much, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You knew. Today, it's almost impossible to keep up with it, really. Yeah. You just have to, there's a lot of that. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I forgot. So he came from Oregon.
That means 1 out of every 3 players is going to be brand new every year.
But that's what I'm getting. Isn't it the same premise then when you have to feel the same? Like if you were the one screaming, oh my gosh, one and dones, you can't win that way. Aren't you? How could you feel differently about this? Because you just said it. You're right. Almost half. Let's go with 35, 40%. I think your numbers are right, are good. Almost half of your roster is going to turn over every season.
Yeah.
So how do you think and by the way, now it's like everybody. It's not just the blue bloods.
Yeah.
Now it's everybody.
Well, here's the counter to that.
So how do you make that work?
The counter to that is what UAB has done, in that they've got guys that have come over from the SEC, and even though these guys have not played together for a long time, they've been playing somewhere. Versus when you go one and done, it means you're introducing not just new players every year, freshmen or second-year players every year.
The difference is they're 18 instead of 21.
Yeah, so you've got maturity. So a guy coming in from an SEC school to somewhere like UAB is very different in his 4th year than, some guy who's coming in who's 19, who's been playing, community college ball and wants to be one and done so he can get to the NBA. It's a more mature crowd that we're going to see. Now, are the pieces going to be flipping around a lot? Yes. But there'll be more mature and maybe better basketball. Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Good points. All right, we'll come back. We'll switch gears. We'll talk about the Preds. Nice win.
Oh, boy.
Last night in Boston.
Shocked me. I'm just going to let you know. Shocked me.
Shocked a lot of people.
Wasn't looking for that.
We'll get more in depth with Alex Doherty on the other side here on the McFarland Show, Nashville Sports Radio.
Gear up for disc golf and Play It Again Sports in Brentwood and Hendersonville during their April disc golf sale. Swing in and stock up on their huge selection of new and gently used disc golf gear and equipment. During their month-long April disc golf sale, you save 10% on all disc golf carry bags. They have the trained staff to help you find the perfect disc, bags, target baskets, and more for the upcoming season. And they will also buy the disc golf gear you no longer use. That's right, every day, all day, you can get cash on the spot for your underused disc golf gear. They also buy baseball, lacrosse, football, soccer, golf, plate weight, hockey gear, and that treadmill that is transformed into a clothes hanger. If you have gear you no longer use or doesn't fit, trade it in for either cash or for store credit towards your next purchase. And you can trust me, not only am I a spokesperson, but I'm a customer. You can always find me in the Hendersonville store. That's Play It Again Sports in Brentwood and Hendersonville. Tell them your buddy Zach here at Nashville Sports Radio sent you. Again, see my friends at Play It Again Sports in Brentwood and Hendersonville.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. Do you feel like you're losing control of your finances? If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, we can help you take back control. The IRS is the largest and most aggressive collection agency in the world, and they can seize your bank accounts, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Take control of your tax problem now by calling the experts at U.S. Tax Shield and take advantage of the Fresh Start program and new laws that may allow us to negotiate a settlement for the lowest amount possible. Our team of tax attorneys and enrolled agents can stop collections and get you protected so you can take control of your financial future. U.S. Tax Shield offers a price protection guaranteed quote to get you protected today. U.S. Tax Shield is A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, so call now. 800-785-9132. That's 800-785-9132. U.S. Tax Shield. 800-785-9132.
Hello, this is Philip Cox from Strike and Spare Family Entertainment. Are you looking for new and exciting things to do with the family during the spring and summer months? Thanks to Strike and Spare Family Fun Centers, you don't have to look any further. Sign up today for Kids Bowl Free, a summer pass starting in May where kids 15 and under receive 2 free games of bowling every day. You can also purchase a family pass that allows you to join the fun as well. Visit any of the 5 local Strike and Spare locations in Hendersonville, Murfreesboro, Donaldson, Hermitage, and Tusculum to register, or just visit kidsbowlfree.com/Strike and Spare. Strike and Spare, where fun is bowling.
What's your next dream? Paying off your credit card, remodeling your kitchen, exploring the rainforests of Costa Rica? Whatever your dreams, they take some planning. And State Farm agent Austin Hardy is right here in the Middle Tennessee community to lend a hand. As your local good neighbor, he can help you look at the things you want to save for and come up with a plan to make those saving goals happen. Because your money should work just as hard as you to achieve your dream. So whether it's being free of debt or free to roam the world, call State Farm agent Austin Hardy here in the Middle Tennessee community. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
It's the McFarland Show with Darren McFarland and Fox 17's Justin McFarland.
Staunch Titans fan, season ticket holder, Tim Kelly as OC. Your reaction?
Oh, I hate that so much. Oh, I hate that so. Well, all right. Some more tight end bubble screens, right? This sucks, man. Yeah, this is live reaction, dude. I had no idea. Yeah, that's trash, man. I hate it.
The McFarland Show with Darren and Justin on Nashville Sports Radio WNSR.
The McFarland Show, broadcasting live in Rutherford County on 107.9 FM.
Thank you, Big Boy Sky. We got the best bump music of all the shows. I may be biased, but we got good bump music.
Yeah, we do.
Back here on the McFarland Show, Darren and Justin here with you. Let's bring in our man, Alex Doherty. Covers the Preds, A to Z Sports. Alex, how we doing?
Doing good. I would agree. I think you guys do have solid bump music.
Yeah. Well, that goes to DJ Adam.
Yes.
DJ Adam is the one who gave us the really cool. And he didn't, by the way, he didn't even ask us.
Yeah.
That's what's more impressive. It's not like he said, hey, guys, give me a list of songs you want, and I'll put it together.
Yeah.
No, he just went and did it, and we're like, man, I'm digging it.
DJ Op.
Now, if you remember.
Operations Manager.
Yes. There you go. As I said, you're right. I guess that was inside. Yeah. I laughed, and a lot of people were going, I don't get it.
I don't get it. He's the operations manager. That's why I threw that in.
Thank you for clarifying that.
Yes, of course.
So if you remember our last conversation, it was quite spirited. It was quite good. Mm-hmm. A lot of people were commenting on Twitter how much they enjoyed your visit. But we got into, long contracts, and I went on a little mini soapbox of I've been saying for a good while, it is time for the Preds to put away those contracts in a closet and lock it up for a while, right? Stop giving everybody max deals. Lo and behold, I read Alex Doherty's tweet. On February the 16th, Justin, the Preds played Boston with nearly a full squad. This is pre-trade deadline.
Yes.
They lost 5-0, and it wasn't even close. Last night, which he wrote this last night, so he said, tonight, Preds played Boston with $37 million of their salary cap. Not in the lineup.
Yeah.
And a bunch of dudes barely old enough to drink alcohol, and they won 2-1 against the best team in hockey.
And maybe the best team ever before
Alex,
it's all said and done.
That's exactly what I was talking about. Thank you for finally coming over to this side, because that tweet told me you have come over to this side. They need more hungry dudes, more guys that their bellies aren't full.
For sure. Yes, deliverance for you in particular, Darren. They did that. They did that specifically for you, and I'm sure you were very proud of that moment.
I love that deliverance. Okay.
Look, for a game, I got to use that tweet to my advantage for a game, okay?
Man.
Let me soak in it for a game.
No, you're absolutely right. And I think that's the thing about this particular team right now is, well, okay, so like what have people been saying about this team? We'll talk about the Boston game for sure, but what people have been saying about this team for the last several weeks is that they're fun to watch. I mean, I've heard it in the locker room. I've heard it from other media. I've heard it from fans who I know who attend the games or who watch the games at home. They say, I want to watch this team. Now, there's probably a lot of people who aren't watching the team now that may have before because they're just, their big players are out and, they're probably not going to do much. But in addition to them being hungry, that when you have hungry players like we talked about last time, it can make for a more enjoyable, viewing experience because even when they're down, if they're up against it, either going up against Boston or even when they're trying to claw their way back against Seattle on Saturday or when they're trying to beat the Maple Leafs on Sunday, they are constantly fighting. I mean, like there are board battles that they're trying to win. There are guys trying to win roster spots for next year. I mean, there's a lot of questions about where some of these players will fit in the future, but not right now. I mean, guys like Evangelista and Novak and Cody Glass and Tomasino, these guys deserve to be in the lineup because of how they're playing every night. So yeah, it was definitely it was good to see them do that last night. And in addition to the off ice sort of impact that game had, I mean, there is no doubt about it that game meant something to the community. I think now it's a little different because it was in Boston, right? But you saw the stuff after the game. I mean, Roman Josi sort of giving the little speech about how we did this for Nashville, and there was some stuff with Ryan McDonough and a fan. I mean, it was really great to see. So like that all aside, like the on ice product too was a big step and a really, really important thing to see for this young team.
Yeah, there was a young man. And I'm trying to get to the bottom of the story on this. And fill in if you have anything, fill in the gaps, Alex. It was a young man by the name of Caleb from Brentwood that I guess was up there for his 17th birthday. And he was on the plane with Ryan McDonough because Ryan McDonough didn't fly with the team. I guess flew commercial there. And he ended up, I don't know how all this happened, but I'm trying to get to the bottom of this. In fact, I've reached out to his mom. So how did he end up down in the locker room? He ended up doing the lineups. What can you tell us about that?
Well, I think I'll have something more concrete a little bit later on, either today or tomorrow. But all I know is kind of what you just said, that he was invited to be a part of that. And I can't imagine being in that situation where you're a fan of the team, a young fan of the team, and getting to do something like the lineup. Some people might not know what we're talking about. So before every game that, the team gathers in the locker room right before the game and they announce the starting lineup. And it's usually a really fun kind of team camaraderie thing that happens, but it is very inside the team. Like, I mean, the opportunity to do something like what that kid did is not even once a year or it's like once a lifetime. Like, no, you don't see that.
No.
I mean, that's almost always inside the team, inside the locker room. Usually the coaches or a player does it. So that was pretty special.
And I was impressed, by the way, with how he delivered it at 17 years of age.
Killed it.
Yeah, killed it. Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely.
It's pretty
yeah,
cool.
Absolutely, yeah.
All right, so the season is not over. We know that. But I want to ask you today, and you can change your mind. We can circle back around this later on. It'll be a fun off-season topic as well. If I've got Cody Glass stock this offseason, are you buying or are you just going to pass on it? What are you doing?
I'm buying on Cody Glass.
So you think he can do this again, maybe even take a next step?
Definitely, yeah. I think the only question with Cody Glass, I think, has been there's an injury history. That's about it. I think he's got the skills to do it. He does a lot of the same things that I think Ryan Johansson was able to do at parts of his career. I think he's not. I don't think he's not top line material. I don't think he's going to be a number one center in the future. But I think he's definitely a second line center, a third line center, pretty much for his career. Now he could take another step in sort of an offensive mindset. I mean, I think he's pretty good defensively. He's really good in the neutral zone. I would say Cody Glass is definitely a good two-way player with a little bit more offensive bite in his game to come. So I would buy. I would absolutely buy on him. And I certainly would buy on someone like Tommy Novak, who has been
okay. Well, that's where I was going
recently.
next. So Tommy Novak stock, you're buying?
Yes, 100% buying on Tommy Novak. There's been a development in his game that not a lot of people saw, but when he was drafted, there was a story that he wasn't even really seen as. There was some question about whether he was even going to sign his entry level contract because he went to Minnesota, and he did. And while he was there, he kind of just developed slowly over time, and then just exploded when he got into the AHL. And that was really good to see. But he was supposed to be a pretty highly seen prospect. His puck skills were always there. So. Yeah, Novak I would buy on for sure. Glass and Novak. So are we going to someone else now?
Luke Evangelista, buying or not? Were you buying or not buying?
I don't want to sound like I'm just repeating the same thing, but I am buying on Luke Evangelista.
Wow.
Yes, for sure.
Alex Doherty is all in on these young pups. You think they can? Think they can do it again? The only reason I'm asking is because you know this, Alex, and I've been doing. I don't want to. This is not the old man. Here we go. But we see one-offs all the time. It's hard to repeat, right? That's what makes the greats great, right? This league is so hard. It's hard to come back and do it again. Tanner Jeannot is a great example, right? Tanner Jeannot has the 24-goal season, and if I would have asked you or anyone else the same question, right, in the offseason, buying or not buying, I'm pretty sure 99% of people, maybe even 100, say, I'm all in. I'm buying. And when he was traded here, he had, 4 goals? When he was traded from here?
Something like that. Yeah, something like that.
3 or 4 goals.
Okay, so I think the reason I would buy on these guys is because, when you have a large group of young guys come up all at the same time, and they're playing together. I mean, that was those 3 guys you just named were in the top 6 last night. They were top 6 players.
Yep.
Along with Kiefer Sherwood, who's probably not a future prospect, and Tomasino, who's another one in our list here. I think that's a big key. Why? These guys are getting at 23, 21, and 20 years old, something like that. They've already got a handful of games at the NHL level, and they're doing it in Boston and against Toronto and against the Seattle team, and soon they're going to be doing it against Dallas and Winnipeg again. I think that the combination of all those guys doing it together is what's important. The other thing is I don't think that they're not playing above their, they're not like shooting 30% and they're not scoring 30 goals. I mean, Luke Evangelista, for example, he has 5 goals in 15 games. That's not like he's not Ovechkin over here about to take the world by storm. He's doing really well. He's got a really good first start. But I think there's room to go up, and that's why I would be high on him. I think the same thing for Cody Glass. 12 goals on the season. That's a good number for a 23-year-old. I think he's probably more like a 20, 25-goal scorer. Tommy Novak, I'm not sure where exactly his ceiling is, but he's probably a good 40, 50-point kind of guy. He's at 34 right now. So I don't think that these guys are playing above their head right now. They're playing well, and they're the only guys that can do it right now because everyone else is injured. So I would be high on all of them together. Yeah, for sure.
All right, last one, and then I'll flip it to Justin, a guy that I make no bones about it. I'm rooting for. I want him to be good. I've liked him with my interaction with him the last couple of years in camp and everything. I think he's got a huge personality. If he can stick and be a full-time NHLer, the fans are going to love him. But so far, this small sampling in the NHL, what do you think of Igor Afanasyev?
I think he's probably got a little bit more room to go, right? I mean, he hasn't really done anything that has just immediately impressed me. He's got the size, and I think he's got the somewhat. He's got the speed. He can keep up. I'll be interested to see how he's used. If he's used in more of a third line, fourth line role, then I think he's probably going to fit more into like a Yakov Trenin type, which would be fine. I think that would be okay. But I think Afanasyev has some room to grow. I wouldn't buy on him just yet as compared to the other guys.
So, question: is Philip Forsberg going to play again this year?
Well, part of me thinks that he will. Well, okay, I'm not gonna go on the fence. I'm just gonna say yes. I think he will. I think he will play again this year. I think he has made enough progress for them to not commit to shutting him down. I think it's just like, do they need – if they get into a situation where they're like 2 wins away, I wouldn't be surprised if they bring him back. Now, the Yossi one, I don't know. It sounds like Yossi's even closer, but we don't know anything about that injury. The Forsberg one, it seems to be a concussion. That seems to be what the injury is. You never know with those kind of things, but I'm gonna go yes, Justin. I'm gonna say yes, he does play.
I know there's been setbacks and all kinds of things, but has part of this been healthy for the team that he has not been out there and they've been able to hang in like this? Like, what does that mean for them?
So I think what Forsberg brings more than anything is whenever Forsberg's out there, the other team has to worry about him. I mean, he's just that presence all the time. And now that they lost Duchesne, there's even less of that, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I do think this. I do think that there is something to when Forsberg's in the lineup, there's sort of a let's see if our guy can do it for us attitude. I think that's happened in the past. I think you saw that maybe a couple of years ago in the late Laviolette era when there was not a lot of offense and everyone just kind of looked at Forsberg to do things. So maybe there would be a little of that. Yeah, like, well, we can always count on Forsberg to go create some offense for us, so we'll just hold down the defensive end and see what he can do. Well, right now, they kind of – it's all hands on deck for the offense. Now, also, they're not scoring a lot of goals, so it's not like the offense is really working that well. They could use a Forsberg in the lineup, so they need to get more than 2 goals. 2 goals against Boston is a pretty impressive thing considering how good that team is, but – they could probably use the Forsberg in the lineup to improve their offense, but there could be something to the fact that he does tend to absorb a lot of attention, not just by the other team, but by the team itself. Like knowing that, okay, Forsberg's going to get us 1 for us tonight. I'm just going to sit back and take it easy.
You sound like a Titans fan talking about Derrick Henry in a way. If I can, compare the two sports.
A little bit of that, yeah. That's a good comparison.
Yeah, as long as Derrick's in the game, he's getting the ball at some point. So, you account for him and kind of leave other things open. All right, so we've been talking a lot about the current team and, of course, a lot about the future. But I want to talk about the past here just a little bit. Darren and I had a conversation a couple of weeks ago talking about Pekka Rinne, of course, getting the statue out in front of Bridgestone Arena. And to our knowledge, there's been no other local professional athlete or even college athlete, tell the truth, that has garnered enough attention and enough legacy to get a statue. So, in your mind, Does Philip Forsberg, sorry, mine was in the other one. This Pekka Rinne, is he deserving of this honor now to be the lone Nashville Star with a statue somewhere?
I don't think there's any other option. Personally, okay, so here's my take. I'm going to be real honest on how I feel about statues and banners and all that stuff. In my opinion, you get to decorate your arena, your plaza, your concourse however you want to. And in my opinion, put more statues up. Put more banners. Hang every banner that you want up in those rafters. Build a statue for every. Put a PK Subban statue up there. I don't care. I think the more stuff you have that shows that hockey means something to you in this city, I think the more concrete things, not pun not intended there, but the more concrete evidence you have in front of you that shows, hey, this city and this organization cares about its team and wants its fans to see it as many times as possible throughout the city, either outside on the plaza or inside, or banners on the streets, or jerseys in the shops, or signs, or whatever it is. The more you do that, the better. Because if you don't do it, people are going to start asking, well, they might not really care about this team. They just have a team, and they don't care about it. I think a Pekka Rinne statue is the obvious first choice. He's the best franchise player the team has ever had. It's not even close. He had the most impact of any player in the team ever in history, even more than Shea Weber, more than Mike Fisher, more than Roman Josi right now. I think he's a bigger than the team itself. I think that's pretty clear with all the stuff he did off the ice. Pekka Rinne, going to that event on Saturday was amazing. I've never seen anything quite like it. It was very unique. You don't see that many people kind of come around for something like that, and the fact that it was just a public event, anyone could show up. Mm-hmm. There were a lot of people there, but that's kind of what I feel. I feel put a statue up for everyone. Put a Justin Darren McFarland statue up there too. While you're at it.
Wow, you're on a roll.
Jeez. Okay.
Well, that's fine. That's cool.
We take it. Absolutely, we'll take that. So it creates legacy. That's what I'm hearing. I'm hearing that by putting the statue up, it actually creates a legacy, creates a talking point, creates some lore, essentially. Even more so than what people knew was there to begin with. That's interesting. I've never looked at it that way. I can understand that.
Yeah, that's exactly right. That's exactly right. I think it's the biggest thing is if you don't do it, if the team doesn't do it, no one else will, right? I mean, you could go to I've been to some other NHL arenas. I've not been to too many other games in other NHL arenas, but either you get it's part of another larger thing like the United Center. There's other teams that play there, Staples Center or whatever it's called now. There's other teams that play there. And the hockey's there, but it just kind of gets lost there. Or you don't even know there's an arena there. I mean, the one in Phoenix from a while back, it's just like I didn't even realize that the arena I was walking right next to it. I didn't even realize. And I think if you're the Nashville Predators, you want people to know if you're within 3 blocks of that place, there's a Predators arena around here somewhere. I can tell. There's signs, there's statues, there's plaques, there's people talking about it, or wearing stuff. I mean, it's very obvious. And that you saw that during the Cup run, right? I mean, you saw that kind of atmosphere. I think have that more often. You have that around as much as you can.
Huge tilt in Pittsburgh tomorrow night against the Penguins. They need this. They're 3 points out with 2 games in hand. Believe it or not, big bad Penguins, everybody, Crosby and Malkin and that team, has done a whole lot of winning, always in the playoffs. They have the same amount of points as the Predators right now. They both have 82 points. That. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, the Penguins are kind of in a bad situation. I think that they're definitely regretting that Mikhail Granlund trade. I would imagine right now. I know that the fan base over there and a lot of people were not happy with that trade. He has 3 points in 13 games. Yeah, for the Penguins.
Alex, I said Mikhail's a really nice guy. He's a good hockey player, but I told you the last time you were on, again, part of our discussion, the minute they made that deal, I was like, nope, wouldn't have done it. Would have never done that with Granlund. Nice guy, good hockey player. Just you can't keep giving him 4-year deals. Like you just can't. So, yeah, they'll probably regret that one, but, hey, it's not Nashville's problem anymore. That's Pittsburgh's problem. So
The Pittsburgh game is big. They're all big. I mean, the schedule just does not look good for Nashville. Pittsburgh, St. Louis, Dallas, Vegas, Carolina, Winnipeg. Those are all playoff teams. Those are all really good. Oh, St. Louis is not, but a lot of really good teams in there, and they pretty much have to win all of them. So it's still. I think the playoff odds went up from 4.6 to like 10.8 or something.
There you go.
So that's a pretty good increase with that Boston win, but still just 10%. That's not great.
It'll be fun to see how it all plays out. Alex, thanks for the visit as always. We'll do it again soon.
Definitely. I'll get working on that statue for the.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Get Scott Wise, evidently.
Send us some renderings.
He knows a little bit about statues, so
we'll
get in touch with him.
We'll pose too. Just let us know.
Okay, good deal.
Alex,
all right, see y'all later.
All right, we'll see you. Cover the spreads for A to Z Sports. We're wide open the rest of the hour. 615-844-5600 is how you can get in touch with us. More of the McFarland Show. We don't have statues yet.
No.
Next.
Located at 5410 Murfreesboro Road in the heart of Laverne, City Slickers is one-stop shopping for all your liquor, beer, and wine needs and has been a multiple winner annually in the Best of Rutherford County voting for Best Liquor Store and Top Wine Shop. Featuring the lowest prices, the best customer service with unsurpassed knowledge, City Slickers offers the largest craft beer selection in Rutherford and southeastern Davidson counties and has beer on tap at its Growler filling station. City Slickers also sells mixers, sodas, snacks, tobacco products, and the Tennessee Lottery, and can place special orders and assist with all your events and even wedding planning. Make sure you follow City Slickers on all their social media or just give them a call at 615-280-7469. That's 615-280-7469. Located in the heart of Laverne, City Slickers.
I'm here at the Big Game headquarters, Total Wine and More, scoring huge savings on the perfect bourbon, local craft beer.
Forgetting something?
Oh yeah, Cabernet, seltzers, and so many low prices.
Valentine's Day is right after.
Whoa, new game plan.
You got this. Total Wine can help you score the perfect bubbly, too.
Thank you, I would have been so...
You sure would have.
Your Big Game headquarters. Love what you find, always at the lowest price. Only at Total Wine and More. Drink responsibly. B21.
Milk, eggs, $42. Ma'am, you okay?
Need bucks? With Jackson Hewitt, don't wait weeks for the IRS to send your tax refund. Come in now for up to $3,500 with a no-interest, no-fee refund advance loan when you file your taxes. That's up to $3,500 today. Don't let high prices get you down. When every dollar matters, it matters who does your taxes. So get to Jackson Hewitt today. For eligible clients, loans by Republic Bank and Trust Company. Details at jacksonhewitt.com.
Attention high school sports fans, are you an armchair official? You know, the parent or fan who constantly yells at the referees and loves to let everyone know just how bad you think they are. Well, if you think you could do better, then get in the game and prove it. It's time for you to suit up and make the calls where they actually count. Every sport in Tennessee needs more officials. Sign up today at highschoolofficials.com.
Your exclusive National Sports Radio, WNSR Sky Scan forecast. Today's going to be sunny with a high of 64. A clear night tonight, low 38. Thursday, sunny, high 70. Variably cloudy and windy Friday with showers and in spots of thunderstorm, high 72. Utilizing the resources of the Willowbug Network on National Sports Radio, I'm WNSR's meteorologist, Jim Rinaldi.
Sports Radio, WNSR.
The Atlanta Braves are back, and this 2023 team is ready for another epic season.
1-1 pitch. There's a deep drive to left center field. This thing is clear for takeoff. Back-to-back home runs, Ozuna and Riley.
Catch the 2023 Atlanta Braves right here on Music City's home for Braves baseball. WNSR, Nashville Sports Radio. Welcome back to the Strike and Spare Studios. You're listening to The McFarland Show with Darren McFarland and Fox 17's Justin McFarland.
It's been a tough week in this market. Monday morning did not get the week started off very well. Made for a tough show on Monday, tough show Tuesday. We certainly don't want to forget what took place in our town, and it was really cool to see the Predators not forget because they had Covenant stickers last night on the back of their helmets.
Yeah, and also very nice. The Bruins were nice hosts. A moment of silence. We also understand that they did a couple of nice gestures for the Predators while they were there, and stuff. It's good to come together as a community because those are things they don't have to do. It's not their building. It's they're the home team, so they don't have to pause and do those kinds of things. But what I was thinking about with the Boston Bruins, if anybody understands how Nashville might be feeling at this moment,
sure,
it's a place like Boston.
Yep.
With what happened up there with the marathon a few years ago. And those people have moved on. The marathon is resumed and they're rolling along. But when something like this, what happened Monday happens, I would imagine it touches a place for those people up there. And it says, those people were so nice to us when this was going on. This is the least we can do to these other folks up here while that is going on down there.
And they have something planned today at 5:30?
5:30 this evening, there will be a vigil or memorial, candlelight memorial that will start at the Public Square. What's called the Public Square Park in downtown Nashville. Essentially, it's the big lawn in front of City Hall, around the corner of 2nd and Memorial and Union, rather, there in downtown. Big grassy knoll that's out there. If you're familiar with downtown at all, you understand the area I'm talking about. They hold lots of events out there. There will be a candlelight vigil out there tonight, and CNN is now reporting that the First Lady of the United States, Dr. Jill Biden, will be in town, and she will participate in that. Jill. Yeah. Dr. Jill Biden will be down there and participate in that memorial tonight.
I didn't know I thought you said Joe. You may have said
I may
Joe.
have. So, but let's be clear. It's the First Lady, not the President. Dr. Jill Biden will be in town.
All right, let's go to the phone line. 615-844-5600. Nate, what's up?
What's up, guys? Every time I hear a promo for y'all's show, I'm sad when it's not the Adam promo.
Well, it did.
We just played it.
Well, we played it earlier because we were laughing during the break.
Yeah, it was.
It just needs to be every promo for y'all's show.
Yeah, that's what we were commenting about. Like, we've heard it so many times, we still laugh every time. So that means it's a good promo. That even when you know exactly what's going to happen, you're still laughing like you're hearing it for the first time.
Yeah, and I think it's just his reaction, the way he says it, not the words themselves, that make me laugh.
Yep.
But I don't know if y'all want me to tell this or if y'all want to wait for your contact, Darren, about the 17-year-old that was able to go to the locker room, because I heard an interview with him today.
Oh,
and
tell me.
Yeah, so from what I understood, he said they got off the plane. He heard that McDonough was in the airport, and he said he had to find McDonough.
Oh, so he wasn't on the plane with him? He met him at the airport?
From what I understood. Yes.
Okay.
And he went up to him, introduced himself, said he was a big fan of his, and he said he follows him on Instagram. And so he got a DM from Ryan McDonough, said, "Hey, get to warm-ups as fast as you can. We have a surprise for you."
Oh, wow.
And so that's how that came about, with him going to the locker room to do the lineup.
You heard Caleb tell this story, the 17-year-old?
Yes.
From Brentwood?
Yes, it was on a different station here in Nashville.
Okay. Well, I don't pretend to know the particulars. That's what I'm trying to find out. I wasn't sure. I thought it was on the plane. So that's interesting that he met him at the airport.
I can DM you the details if you want, Darren.
No, I've got his mother's number. I've reached out to her. I'm trying to get in touch with the family. I'm trying to learn more. I just haven't talked to anybody yet.
Yeah. I just didn't know if you wanted to hear from Caleb himself on. Yeah. So.
Well, yeah, I do. That's why I'm asking his mom. Can I talk to your son? So he was up there for his birthday, and so that is the story. That's just what they planned for his 17th birthday. Is that what he told?
That's what I've heard.
Wow, interesting.
Yeah.
Cool.
I got to be honest, man. I do want to talk to him because I thought he crushed it. Like I don't think I would have done. No, I wouldn't have done as good. Okay, he did that better than I would have ever done as a grown man. At 17, I would have had no chance to do it as good as he did.
Because of the cesspool social media is right now with the events that happened in Nashville, I haven't seen it yet. I just can't get on it.
Well, go check it out because it's really cool.
I will. But yeah, y'all have a good day, guys.
All right, you too, Nate. Thank you,
sir.
Thank you for the details. All right, we'll step away, come back, wrap up the first hour of the McFarland Show next.
When you're away from home and you want down-home cooking, Kitchen Notes at the Omni Nashville Hotel is the answer. Excellent, fresh, and local, just like Grandma used to make. Start your day with a Music City omelet and some prime rib hash, or a cast iron waffle with Nashville hot chicken. For those wanting variety, hit the biggest breakfast buffet in Music City. And of course, the world-famous Biscuit Bar. Start your day with the fresh, local, and down-home cooking of Kitchen Notes at the Omni Nashville Hotel, 5th Avenue, downtown.
Paid for by Christian Care Ministry.
Let's see, if something costs less, but people are happier with it, that sounds like something to look into, and that's MediShare. Maybe you've heard switching to MediShare to pay for healthcare can save the typical family $500 a month, and that's huge, but it's also true that people are way more satisfied after making the switch, too. The customer satisfaction rate for MediShare is double that of the typical health insurance plan. MediShare works. It's been around for more than a quarter century, and members have shared more than $3 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network. So, yeah, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care. So if you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan you're happy with, you can call right now and get a price within 2 minutes. A very, very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need. 855-51-BIBLE. That's 855-51-BIBLE. 855-51-BIBLE.
At Total Wine & More, save big on what you love this month with hundreds of deals. Get up to 35% off over 100 different wines and spirits, including Cabernet, sparkling wine, single barrel bourbon, and so much more. These savings are huge, and even better, they're on top of prices that are already the lowest in town. Deals this good don't last long, so visit Total Wine & More to find yours. Love what you find at the lowest price, only at Total Wine & More. Drink responsibly, B21.
Without the ones like you, who work tirelessly to keep things running, everything would suddenly stop. Hospitals, factories, schools, and power plants, they all depend on you. No matter the weather, emergency, or time of day, you're the ones who get it done. At Grainger, we're here for you with professional-grade industrial supplies. Count on real-time product availability and fast delivery. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Celebrate the history of our national pastime at the National Baseball Hall of Fame and Museum in Cooperstown. See priceless treasures that'll bring your baseball memories to life. Connect with events that have shaped and changed the game and our country. Our stories to tell, your memories to share. Plan your visit today at baseballhall.org.
It's the afternoon stretch with Zach Williams and Bruno Reagan.
Reality is starting to set in. The Titans are in a bad way. We've been saying this, and people thought it was just crazy. Derrick Henry and the future, and Titans do no wrong, and Mike Vrabel, Coach of the Year. No, the Tennessee Titans have problems. They have holes. They have money issues, and they can't fix it overnight, and they won't fix it this season.
The afternoon stretch. The afternoon stretch with Zach Williams and Bruno Reagan.
You're listening to The McFarland Show live on WNSR Nashville Sports Radio.
Justin Meadon will join us at 3:15. We'll talk a little bit about the Braves season that begins tomorrow. 12:05 first pitch. You can hear it right here on these airwaves against the Nationals. And then we will come on, I guess, unless it's a wild marathon.
Yeah. Be on shortly after the last out at some point.
Whatever that is.
Yeah. Which could be sooner rather than later because of the first official regular season game with all the rule changes here in order to make the game shorter.
Yeah.
So let's find out.
And I haven't looked to see what the weather's like in Washington, but I don't know. I mean,
I haven't checked that either, but okay.
Could be,
Well, it's
cold.
It's late March in Washington.
Which isn't
you
good.
You could get anything going on in D.C.
UCLA's Jalen Clark has declared for the NBA draft.
Okay.
So the guy that was one of the best defenders in the country that unfortunately did not play in the tournament, that really hurt the Bruins a lot. I would have probably picked UCLA to go much for. Well, I would have had them in the Final Four for sure.
Yeah.
Not that it mattered because my bracket is just a bloody mess.
Yeah.
By the way, I guess we haven't officially done this on the show.
Yes.
Congratulations to Devlin.
Yes.
Which everybody filled out brackets on all the shows.
Mm-hmm.
And Devlin won.
Smoked everybody.
He won.
He was the only guy over 500, I think.
Oh, I'm sure. Well, I know I wasn't. I'm pretty sure.
Pretty sure. Were the only guy over 500?
Who did? Do you have the?
I beat Patton by 1. I went 34-29. Patton went 33-30. We were the only ones above 500.
Okay.
And I must say, didn't watch a single college basketball game all season.
Yeah.
Thanks for making us feel better.
Yeah.
Have a good show, guys.
I knew you were going to say that
how it
too.
worked.
Because that's what he said. He did. He literally said that.
Yeah.
When we found out, he's like, I haven't watched anything.
Yeah.
And this was the perfect year for that, right? It was the perfect. The less you knew, the better. The better off you were.
This was certainly the throw the dart at the board here.
Throw a dart. Hey, that's a pretty color uniform.
Yeah.
I like the name of that team. I like that coach.
It was
whatever reason you want to come up with to pick a team. It would have worked.
It's about as organized as a game of Hungry Hippos. Just random, whatever it is. Just sure, go for it. That team's not even in the tournament. They'll be in the Final Four. Yeah.
Just trust me.
Just,
Are you sure they're in? It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
I'm picking them.
Going with the St. Louis Billikens. Yes. The Final Four. What? Yes.
You're crazy.
Matching up against the
I like Marshall Falk and San Diego State. I'm picking them.
Against
crazy.
The New Orleans Pelicans. Yes.
Oh, wait a minute. They're in the Final Four.
Yeah. There they are.
First Mountain West team to ever make it to the Elite Eight.
Yes.
Forget Final Four.
Kansas City A's. Yes.
First hour in the books. We'll come back. Second hour of the McFarland Show next.
On air and online, Sports Radio WNSR, Brentwood, Nashville.
ABC News, I'm Rena Roy. A new tool to help battle the ongoing opioid epidemic. The Food and Drug Administration approved over-the-counter use of the drug Narcan, the nasal spray medication of naloxone that helps reverse the effects of overdoses. White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre at today's briefing.
It is a critical tool that has saved thousands of lives, and now the FDA is making this life-saving medicine more accessible to more people across the country.
At the briefing, Jean-Pierre also announced First Lady Jill Biden will attend tonight's candlelight vigil in Nashville to honor the 3 children and 3 adults killed in the mass school shooting. The First Lady is in Ohio today, meeting with military families. The former CEO of Starbucks testified at a Senate hearing today and denied allegations employees were penalized for trying to organize unions. Starbucks is appealing a federal judge's ruling the coffee chain violated labor laws at stores in Buffalo, New York. This is ABC News.
Have you Googled yourself lately? Are there negative posts from an ex-employee or a former client? Maybe an outdated news article or sensitive personal information about your family? Search engines don't always get it right, but right or wrong, it's your reputation on the line. That's where Reputation Defender by Norton comes in. One of the most trusted names in online reputation repair, Reputation Defender has been fixing people's search results for over 15 years. Their cutting-edge approaches help you to wipe away unwanted information in your search results. They also promote the good stuff so that it rises to the top, helping you put your best foot forward. Your good name is too valuable to leave to the whims of a Google algorithm. Take control with Reputation Defender. You can start by getting your free reputation report card at reputationdefender.com or call 800-401-6681 to speak to an expert. That's 800-401-6681.
WNSR, Nashville Sports Radio.
Like any good agent, we're here for the open house, for the closing, for handing over keys. But because we're realtors, we're here for so much more. Agents who are realtors volunteer at nearly 3 times the national average. We're working to broaden access to credit, increase affordable housing supply, and ensure fair housing for all. And realtors are bound by a code of ethics. We're here for it all. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. That's who we are.
I'm Scott Trout, attorney and CEO of the domestic litigation firm Cordell & Cordell. We help men deal with the life changes triggered by divorce, such as child custody and property division, among many others. But life changes also occur after divorce. These changes can make parts of your existing court order irrelevant. If you feel a modification to your court orders might be necessary, talk to us at Cordell & Cordell. We're a partner men can count on.
Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's Nashville area attorneys. 810 Crescent Center Drive, Suite 160, Franklin, Tennessee, 37067.
Listen, you can't handle the truth. It's about to go off.
Live from the WNSR Strike and Spare studios.
Just a bit outside.
Now back to the McFarland Show with Darren McFarland and Fox 17's Justin McFarland.
Show me the money!
Call now at 615-844-5600.
Oh, righty there.
Now the McFarland Show with Darren and Justin.
Second hour on this Wednesday afternoon. Don't forget, you can watch us every day. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. We are live. Stars, Strike and Spare Family Fun Center Studio.
Here we are.
Man, let me hydrate.
Yeah, there's some. Well, no, there's not stars in the logo. It's okay. The Strike
I got
and
my
Spare.
glasses on.
Strike and Spare.
I just put my glasses on and I hydrated.
Yeah, Strike and Spare. Proud sponsor.
I have got some odds. According to FanDuel today, we talked yesterday about the draft. We're about a month away.
We are.
What the Titans will do with their first, what position the Titans will draft first. We know they have the 11th pick in the draft.
They do.
What position do you think, position group, is the favorite, according to FanDuel?
FanDuel, offensive line, offensive tackle in particular.
It's generic, so.
Okay, then offensive line.
Yeah, it's offensive lineman.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what everyone's been saying. I disagree with it, but I understand. So, fine.
Minus 180.
Okay.
Pretty good favorite.
Okay.
Considering what's second. What's second? There's a reason I'm bringing all this up.
What's second should be wide receiver.
Okay. Devlin?
I'm also going to say wide receiver, but I might take a shot in the dark here and say quarterback.
No.
I've seen some dumb mock drafts.
Boy,
the answer is quarterback.
That's silly, but okay.
Did we not talk about this yesterday?
We did, and
with Steve
that's
Lehman?
Fine. Yeah, sure. I mean,
quarterback is the second favorite at plus 270.
So what they're saying is, well, maybe not.
There is that's a pretty sizable gap between O-line and quarterback, the next draft pick.
Yeah.
In other words, they feel pretty confident about offensive linemen.
Yeah, and understandable. They're looking for 2 starters right now.
And Justin, that quarterback odds, that isn't crazy odds.
No,
it's not plus 1,500.
But listen,
plus 270.
They're making draft odds on all 32 teams. So I wonder how closely they are following. Or are they including local experts, or are they just doing this?
Well, this is FanDuel. This is
based on.
This is their data. That's how they set lines.
Yeah. Okay.
Their information.
Yeah, sure. I got it.
Yeah.
I just don't know. I mean, but I understand.
Yeah. So you've got offensive lineman minus 180, quarterback plus 270, next. Pretty big gap again between second and third.
So who's third then?
Yep. Who's third?
Tight end.
Tight end. Ooh, Devlin.
I feel like this has to be wide receiver here, right?
I was waiting for you to say wide receiver, and it is not. Defensive lineman? I don't agree with that one.
Okay.
I don't understand how you could have defensive lineman over wide receiver. Defensive lineman is plus 650. Wide receiver is plus 850, unless FanDuel doesn't believe there's a wide receiver worthy at 11. Like maybe there's two they really love or one that they really love, and they predict they'll be gone. So therefore the Titans won't, I guess, reach for a wide receiver. I mean, I don't know what the reason is. I'm just throwing out stuff.
But they don't think
they got wide receiver plus 850.
I mean,
fourth.
I think FanDuel's been making these ratings here by playing Madden.
You think they may have been doing a little drinky today?
No, not drinky. No,
they do have bars and liquor.
I think they've been playing Madden.
You think they've been playing Madden?
Yes, I think they've been looking at the Madden ratings and playing some video games and
that's how they've come up with their odds.
I mean, Traylon Burks been balling out on this Madden, and they don't need a wide receiver. They got Traylon Burks. Look at him. Looks great.
You should see Kyle Phillips on this game.
Yeah.
Man.
Why do they need a wide receiver?
Beast
they don't
mode.
need a wide receiver. They're doing great.
You should see NWI on this video game.
Looking real great. It's fast.
So, offensive lineman, minus 180, quarterback plus 270, defensive lineman plus 650, wide receiver plus 850, and then it is a cliff dive to cornerback at plus 1,900, then running back plus 3,400.
Well, it tells you what they think about Derrick Henry being traded.
Yeah.
There
you go.
It tells you what they think about that.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So
along those lines, new general manager Rand Carthon recently spoke about their newest acquisition, Andre Dillard.
I mean, you hope so. Again, I'll forever say guys got to go out and earn it on the grass. I think more than anything, it gives us versatility. Jamarco's played multiple positions. Dre's played tackle, he's played guard. And, MPF can play right tackle, he can play left tackle. I think in the grand scheme of things, it gives us versatile pieces that allow us to put the best five on the field.
Conceivably deprioritize the position in the draft?
No, I mean, again, we're at a position, we'll start with the first round, we're at a position where we're the 11th overall pick. And, obviously the top 10 is going to go the way it's going to go. And we're going to be sitting there, facing the best available player, whoever that is and however that looks. And so we're about creating competition. And again, if you were to draft a tackle, at 11, then guess what? Now you mentioned those three. Now we have four. Because you get to August every year, and everybody's looking for a tackle. Everybody's looking for a tackle. I feel like I've been in it 15 years, and no matter who we felt our starters were, at some point during camp, you're like, damn, we need another tackle. And so we'll address it as it comes, and we just won't be afraid to pick the best available player.
There you go.
Yeah.
I mean, I could see completely why offensive lineman. The mocks that I see, I look at those and, like, first of all, drafting a guard/center at 11?
No, probably not.
Thank you.
Probably not.
But that's some of these big names that are out. You look at them, it's like their primary position. It's like guard, could slide over to center. It's like 11th pick in the draft? No.
I mean.
Are you? And by the way, just leave it at guard. Are you going to take? I don't know. Taking a guard at 11. I know they took Conklin at 10.
What number? Where'd they take Chance
But
Warmack?
Conklin was He was a tackle.
He was the tackle. He was the right tackle.
Who was Chance Warmack? He was high.
He was high.
And how did that?
He was the guard.
How'd that turn out?
Yeah, well.
Did he get a second contract?
Yeah, not with the Titans. He didn't.
Right. By the way, is he still in the league?
I think he is.
Is he?
I think.
Okay.
I'm not. I can't be positive. I think so.
Okay.
But be that as it may, I think there's no question they're going to draft an offensive lineman here during the draft. Now, is it going to be in the first round? I don't think it should be, but if they see someone they're so inclined, I can totally understand. The need is there, and if they want to draft based on need, then sure. You go with the offensive line. I know that's what a lot of fans have been talking about they need to do. Just me looking at the team, from where I sit, and looking at the draft and looking at the free agents, I standing firm on the fact that I think they need to draft the best wide receiver they can find. Only because there are no wide receivers in free agency. There are none.
No.
So what are you going to do at wide receiver? And then this goes back to our other conversation about why people were feeling some kind of way about Nick Westbrook-Akine coming back, because they felt like, well, they're going to put him at 2 or 3 when he's really a 4 or 5. And why are they going to put him at 2 and 3? Because they have to. Because they don't have anybody else. They don't.
That's not a good thing.
They don't.
Yeah.
So either you got to go trade to get somebody else in here, you got to sign a veteran free agent, you got to pay them some money, or you're going to have to draft some guys. And in this NFL, if I'm going to draft a wide receiver, I'm going to draft him number 1 in the first round, not in the third round. That's just me. Yeah. In this NFL.
Sounds kick off their season Friday. First Horizon Park. Braves tomorrow in Washington, and that can be heard here on these airwaves. 12:05 first pitch. We'll come back, go down to Atlanta, talk to Chris Domino. We'll talk to him next here on The McFarland Show.
Welcome to Smashville, home of the biggest hits in hockey and the loudest parties on Broadway. Join us at Bridgestone Arena Saturday, April 1st as your Nashville Predators take on the St. Louis Blues for a Saturday afternoon party in Smashville. Arrive early for the Nashville Predators Plaza Party, presented by Dr. Pepper, starting at 10 a.m. And don't forget, puck drop is at 12 p.m. Purchase your tickets today at NashvillePredators.com/tickets. That's NashvillePredators.com/tickets. Let's go, Preds!
Say, for the ones who get it done, Grainger is offering high-quality supplies and solutions for every single industry, as well as access to product specialists who have the knowledge and the experience to answer your toughest questions. Plus, their commitment to being your safety partner can help you keep your facility safe and your people even safer. So, call, click, Grainger.com, or just stop on by. Grainger.com.
For the ones finding new ways to ensure the job always gets done. For the ones wearing many hats. For the ones who are hands-on, even from far away. And the ones keeping business moving forward. We are Grainger, offering professional-grade industrial supplies, plus real-time product availability and access to experts ready to answer your toughest questions. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Today on Hey Culligan, reverse to reduce. Here's Bob.
Hey Culligan, I love fresh water, but I got plastic bottles coming out.
Whoa, Bob, you are not kidding about the bottles. But did you know Culligan's reverse osmosis and always-on drinking water systems provide fresh, clean, delicious drinking water and help reduce the equivalent of over 15 billion plastic bottles from landfills worldwide?
Holy, fresh, environmentally friendly drinking water. Am I right?
Right, Bob. And we're already on the way. Let us help you out with a free in-home water test from a local Culligan water expert at Culligan.com.
They say they'll get your biggest tax refund. Jackson Hewitt says your biggest tax refund guaranteed, and a chance to double your tax refund. Thousands in weekly prizes during the Double Your Refund sweepstakes. Your biggest refund times 2, twice the money, so forget about them. File your taxes on the double at Jackson Hewitt today. No purchase necessary to enter or win. Open to U.S. residents 18 or older who file a 2022 federal tax return. Promotion ends 4/2/23. Visit jacksonhewitt.com for rules.
Hello, this is Philip Cox from Strike and Spare Family Entertainment. Are you looking for new and exciting things to do with the family during the spring and summer months? Thanks to Strike and Spare Family Fun Centers, you don't have to look any further. Sign up today for Kids Bowl Free, a summer pass starting in May where kids 15 and under receive 2 free games of bowling every day. You can also purchase a family pass that allows you to join the fun as well. Visit any of the 5 local Strike and Spare locations in Hendersonville, Murfreesboro, Donaldson, Hermitage, and Tusculum to register, or just visit kidsbowlfree.com/Strike and Spare. Strike and Spare, where fun is bowling.
Jim Rome is here weekdays 11 to 2 on Nashville Sports Radio, WNSR.
Give the show a couple of weeks. You're not going to like it. Nobody likes this show the first time they heard it. My wife hated the show. I married her. Give it 2 weeks. If after 2 weeks you can honestly say to me, you know what? I listened to every day for 2 weeks, and the truth is, I hate you more now than I did the first day. Then I'm going to be man enough to say to you, you know what? You probably aren't that smart.
Jim Rome, 11 to 2 on Nashville's original sports radio, WNSR.
You're listening live from the Strike and Spare Studios, downtown Music City. It's the McFarland Show.
Indeed you are. Let's head down to Hotlanta. I don't know if it's hot today. Braves tomorrow kick off their season in Washington against the Nationals.
Mild Atlanta. It's mild.
Yeah, I was going to say if it's what? Low 60s here.
Spring Atlanta.
It's probably mid 60s there.
Yeah.
But tomorrow it doesn't matter. They're not at home. They're in Washington taking on the Nationals. 12:05 first pitch can be heard here on these airwaves, and then we will come on, I suspect, after the game. But
yes,
it could be a wild and wacky
16-inning
crazy affair, and we may not have a show tomorrow. Who knows? Or it could go in 2 hours and 20 minutes with these new rules.
Mm-hmm.
Not sure.
It could.
Chris D'Amito, 680 The Fan down in Atlanta, is on the line with us. He knows all about these Braves games. Chris, what's up?
Baseball really doesn't want 16-inning wacky wild. The 220, from what I gather, sounds much more appealing to them these days.
Yeah, and so that's where I'm just going to start. I mean, we've seen the times shaved off quite drastically in spring training. Do you believe it's going to really carry over into the regular season?
I will go more by 8,000 minor league games where they cut off 25 minutes.
Okay.
So I believe that, yes, game times will be cut down. The one reason they wouldn't mind it not being is because there's more singles, more action, more stolen bases, more hit and runs. If the game gets a little bit extended by that, then baseball will click their heels. Not 310, not 320, pithy 238, 5-4. Wow, there seems to be a lot more action on the field with no shifts. And the pitch clock, I think Major League Baseball will find themselves giddy if the month of April looks like that.
We have a AAA team here in town, and, of course, those rules have been in effect for several seasons now, and you can see it. I mean, you just can. I mean, it drastically changes the game. It feels completely different than a major league game. I mean, they're pretty good. Again, it's not like the Sounds never have a long game, but I can tell you I've been to a lot more 2 hour and 37-minute games than I have 3 hour and 20-minute games.
The only thing that's going to be interesting is, and I'm assuming they've addressed this behind closed doors, even though they probably don't want to bring it up out on Main Street, is if beer sales are really going to end in the seventh inning for games that are quicker, I'm hoping beer prices don't get hit a little bit more. Will they extend it to the eighth inning? What are they going to do? I know what they want, but I also know what they don't want. They don't want money coming out of the till. And look, I'm not an advocate. If you want to go have a few beers at a baseball game, great. If you can't drink enough in 7 innings, well, okay. You might want to get checked. But I'm not so sure that they're really into closing cash registers in a shorter amount of time than ever before. I'll be curious to see if anybody's willing to talk about that out loud at some point.
Look, we had royalty on the show yesterday and Bonnie Bernstein. You're Atlanta royalty, so what do you care about beer prices, man? They're going to just hand you whatever you want.
No, actually what it is I'm old enough now where I'm not enamored by the plastic cup with the beer inside the stadium. You give me 2 beers, give me a hot dog, I'm all good. I don't necessarily, and again, God bless anybody who does. I'm not going to the game to drink. I also don't want to stop your right to drink. I also know the teams, as I said, though, if they're really going to play shorter games, I'm curious to see what the beer sales actually do or don't do over the course of the year. Because listen, if we're keeping a clock on these games, somebody's also running a money meter on these games. And they're going to figure out what's best. Not what's best for the game, what's best for the game and everybody involved with it over the course of certainly this year as we look at all these new rules.
All right, before we find out what this Braves roster is going to look like and what you're thinking about this season, did you see JT Realmuto get tossed from the spring training game.
Yeah.
What in the world?
Well,
I can't say the words I really want to say on the radio. What in the world was that?
He should have unthrown him out right then and there. Look, I think I told you that.
The home plate umpire should have been thrown out for that.
Unthrown him out.
Yeah, my bad. Look, it's okay. You do it with your wife. Sometimes do it with your kids. You expect it maybe of others when they do wrong by you. Hey, man, my bad. And that was a definitive my bad moment. There were 10 new umpires. I think we talked about this the last time. That wasn't even a good throw out. Like, I didn't even get my money's worth watching it because Realmuto was so confused.
Yeah.
And then, your manager's kind of like, hey, did that just happen? So we didn't even get sort of the emotional part of what I hope is going to happen this year with more good ejections, not ejections like that. You have to apologize at that point. You legitimately have to fall on a sword. Then we talk about these guys getting graded and everything else. I'd have more respect for the guy. I don't know if you know what happened. Right before that, he called an automatic ball. So I think the part of it that was missing is why did the umpire react that way? He thought Realmuto, that was his protest to the pitch clock violation that just happened on the pitch before that.
Okay, gotcha.
But it wasn't. The guy just screwed up. That's you got a little bit antsy. You wanted to take your mask off. And at times, I hate to even say this, but my first thought was anybody who wants robo-umps, that's the reason they want robo-umps. And it's not that you don't have an umpire behind there. That could have happened. And the big thing, it's funny, I asked Buster Olney this last week, and I had no idea when I was asking. The best stall tactic with the pitch clock is going to be a catcher holding on to the ball longer. I'm not kidding. That's going to be a thing. He told me in the minor league games, they kept an eye on how many umpires handed baseballs to catchers, or now more of them
throwing it back.
Yeah.
Nice.
So a catcher on a 2-2 pitch, he might not get it back to the pitcher as much if the pitcher thought he was robbed. If he thinks his guy's got to collect himself before he throws it back to the mound, one of the adjustments is going to be, is there ever really going to be something egregious enough where the umpires say, no, get it back to him quicker, or else I'm going to start the clock even before he has the ball. But they did monitor a little bit of who threw the ball back to the pitcher, umpire, or catcher in the minor leagues as part of their study.
I felt bad. It was one of the. By the way, you were the ones. You did bring up that about the new. I remember that because I was like, oh. So is he one of those? It's Randy Rosenberg. Is he one of the new umps?
You know what? It's a really good question. I probably should have figured that out. This seems to also be the first day of school. I'm going to crack down on everything. There's probably going to be a little bit of that early instead of late. If they're going to lax, they'll pull back a little bit instead of trying to push it forward. I don't know if he's one of the 10. That's a really good question. I'm not positive about it.
I really thought Monday night had Michael McKenzie on. I don't know if you remember him. He played at MTSU. He was a catcher for the Pirates, the Rockies, the Cardinals. His nickname is Fort McHenry, right? Is that not like the greatest nickname ever? But he was really, really good. He's now doing radio and television for the Pirates.
Oh,
and he's from East Tennessee, but he's obviously lived in Nashville. But anyways, he talked about all the stuff catchers. Because I asked him like, why do it seem like catchers are the ones the new skippers seem to be former catchers, and so he was kind of going through all that, and he's like, we have to deal with a lot of crap. He's like, there's a lot going on, and a lot you have to process. And I remember him just Monday night talking about processing. You don't understand the dialogue that goes on for 9 innings between a catcher and a home plate umpire.
And what you hope is, like, I never want to know the name of an umpire. I hope I never find out what the conversation was because my guy's doing it correctly then. That to me is always a sign. I don't want to see masks off. I don't want to see an umpire cleaning home plate, which used to be the old move. If a pitcher needed a second or catcher needed a second, you come out and dust home plate. Now all that, in my opinion, can lead to is just more guys nonsense bickering with each other. And as I said, you give me a good classic old-fashioned ejection here and there, I'll enjoy that as much as the next guy. But I don't want to be because you got an umpire who's jumpy.
Chris, I want to ask you about about playing baseball this early. My father is an old school baseball guy, and I can hear his voice already. By the way, it's his birthday today. He turned a big 7-0.
Oh, wow.
So happy birthday to my father. But be that as it may, He says April's too early for March is too early for baseball.
Yeah.
Baseball needs to be at least after tax day for him. For it to be good. And I will say that we've seen the snow going on, and we've got baseball going up in the Northeast and in the Midwest here in March, and we've seen the things happening. What's your view on that? Should we be playing this early? And if we're going to play this early, shouldn't most of the games be in the South or out West?
Yeah, or dome stadiums.
Dome stadiums, which is Darren's favorite thing in the world.
Yeah, so can I happy birthday to your father.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate that.
Your father at 70 has probably seen through his life at certain points. If you think anybody's going to beat the almighty dollar, you're crazy.
Yeah.
They're not taking it back from 162. They're not doing any of those things. Just like you can tell are you supposed to be playing World Series games in November?
Yeah.
That's the other part.
He doesn't like that either. Yeah.
Yeah, we started early, we ended later. So, because the collective bargaining agreement has a few more off days in it, and that's what can happen. Here's the quick analogy. I'm 60,
yes,
and
sir.
I've had my sort of, I don't want to fight windmills. I don't, want to stand on my lawn and scream at anybody. I really don't. I'm probably calmer now than I ever was. But my daughter plays soccer, and they call soccer a spring sport, and her first game was in February. And let's not forget, February only has 28 days.
Yeah.
So is it really a spring sport if you're playing in February? It's the same type of thing. We call it a summer game, but it's not, because it's got to start as early as possible to ensure that as many of them are on TV as possible.
Mm. Okay, well, I mean, that's the way to think about it. I don't know. And you're right. It's not going to change anyway, so maybe it's not worth diving deep into it because this just is what it is. It just more feels different, and I imagine the next generation will feel the same.
Here's what you're also worried about. You're worried about the health of your players. If you're playing one of these series where it's not as easy to get warmed up the way it was in Florida and Arizona, it's a little bit shock to the system.
Mm-hmm.
That's problematic. If I got a guy in a bullpen who can't get as loose, or a guy who sits down and can't stay as warm, I believe that's a thing. I'll tell you the craziest one, though, even dumber than that, is the way that you run spring training when you have guys getting to the park at 8 o'clock, and then you're asking them in a couple of days to flip their body clock. Like, baseball players don't get up that early. They don't see the sunlight 7:30 driving into a ballpark. But I know what the thing is. You want to get all your work done and give these guys the afternoon. I get it. But it really is kind of interesting in me, the body clock part of this. I always thought the last week of spring training, it should all be 6:05 starts at a minimum, just so you could actually start to play the game of, young guys. How antsy you're going to be in a hotel room over the course of a day. The Atlanta Braves got two guys who are going to start in the major leagues in the first 6 days, in Jared Schuster and Dylan Dodd, and I can only imagine, what the hotel room is going to feel like for these guys who have been leaving really early in the morning and now have to stick around for as late as they possibly can to get into the clubhouse at 2 o'clock.
All right, Chris, 2 more from me. Ohtani and $65 million. Too much, too little, or just right?
We had Bill Rifkin on today, and look, if Scherzer and Verlander get $43 million, and they do, and they are, and give me the hitters, if you take Judge out of it, give me the next group of guys, 30 and 30 equals 60. Like, is he a $30 million pitcher? Of course he is. Is he a $30 million hitter? Of course he is. So you're supposed to think that way. Now, I can win as an agent making that argument. Me and 2 chimps can walk into a room during free agency, and I could put up a PowerPoint that goes, of course he deserves 60. The counter should be from the team, but if I lose one, I could lose both. If I lose the pitcher, I could lose the hitter. In other words, if the pitcher with the elbow or the shoulder, now all of a sudden I'm out for whatever it might be, and then I always have to worry at $60 million, $65 million, am I just going to get one version of the guy because I can't take the chance of him getting hurt again on the mound? So I don't know. Can you do a contract that's based upon if you make this many starts, if you have this many innings? I don't even know what the Players Association would say about that. I think it would be up to the player to do it. But I'm kind of curious to see if he gets what we used to call two-way contracts, minor league and major league contracts. Is there a contract that would stipulate you get paid this, the big sum, if you're both pitching and hitting, but if you're just hitting, you only get this. If you're just pitching, you only get this. That's the one that I think is going to be more interesting with him, not necessarily total value, but it's how you come to the total value. And what is he, 28? I think he's 28 years old.
Think so.
10 years, $60 million is a $600 million contract. I don't know how much is insurable. I don't know. There's a lot of things like that, but it's certainly not out of the question. Certainly, if he's doing both, he deserves what I would call two contracts lumped into one.
All right. This is the one I've been thinking about, and I can't wait to hear your response. How are we going, and this is good, I'm asking you now instead of getting into the throes of the season here, how do we determine, how is this sport going to determine, how is the next generation going to determine what a Hall of Fame pitcher is? Because forever, it was the 300-game winner. Yeah. You had markers you had to reach. The current leader that's playing right now, active player for wins, is Justin Verlander at 244.
Right, and he's a lock.
And he is a lock. But Greinke's after him. He's further down the list. How do we going to judge that? How are the 20-somethings going to be able to judge what a Hall of Famer is in the future if the numbers continue to change the way they are?
So I would say eliminate the numbers. To me, if you have to like eliminate them in your mind to make the judgment. I've always said if you have to think about whether a guy is a Hall of Famer, good chance he's not. I think that will happen now with pitchers. And to me, it's that 7-year. I hate to even put numbers on it myself, but I've always said my definition of an ace is a guy who takes the ball for 5 years in a row. He's not hurt, and for 5 years in a row he goes and he humps his 33 starts. And here's what happens: he gives his team a better shot 80+% of the time to win the game. Doesn't mean that the numbers bear out. I mean, Jacob deGrom, fellas, look up Jacob deGrom. I think he's got 83 wins. 2 Cy Youngs and 83 wins. What are you going to do with that guy someday? Literally, what are you going to do with him someday?
Yeah.
What's he going to get to, 150? And then I think one of the criteria will be, let's say it's a guy like Tim Hudson.
Yeah.
It's on one of the veteran committee things, or is on, if he quickly goes off the ballot with 200 and change, then you're going to know that he didn't look or feel like a Hall of Fame pitcher. So let's take away the numbers. Could you have a guy who has 180 wins who feels like a Hall of Famer? Yeah, you probably could if he's dominant. Now, the problem with that is going to be, I think the dominance thing comes with strikeouts. I think it should be a little bit more about what you do to your pitcher team. I'd rather look at September numbers and October numbers than April numbers. Fair or unfair, do I feel like you're a guy who pushed his team through postseasons? I'll give you more credit, i.e. tack on wins that don't exist. I'll double up your wins in a postseason. I'll triple up your wins in a postseason if I have to make an argument. But you have to feel and look dominant. It's just not going to be as easy to pick up the wins, and it's not going to be as easy to stay as healthy as guys did in the past.
So a Kurt Schilling would give more credit. By the way, deGrom has 82 wins. By the way, 82 wins and 57 losses. Yes, sir.
Look how old he is.
Yeah, I know. I understand.
Is he 34 or 30?
He's 34.
34 years old.
Yes, sir.
He's got 82 wins.
Yeah.
That's insane. That's an insanely low number with 2 Cy Young awards in New York.
Yeah, 4-time All-Star. Yeah.
Yeah, he's the Eli Manning of baseball.
Except, you know what it is though? He's better than that. Nobody's going to do the Koufax thing with him. Kershaw's a lock for me. He's a lock because he had a run of dominance. Now somebody's going to tell me deGrom did, but I don't feel the same way.
It's
DeGrom
a way shorter window, shorter window than Kershaw.
Right. Yeah. But it's a bigger arm with deGrom. Again, I think sometimes power guys get more of a bump in that. Oh yeah, I think of him as dominant. No doubt about it. That guy can go punchy 12 guys in a given day.
Mm-hmm.
But how long you do it, and do you push a team through the postseason is going to be eventually part of the equation. Don't
forget Felix Hernandez, too. I don't know what his win total is, but it's probably not really high. He played on some pretty crappy Mariners teams.
Yeah, but I never look, and I've said it. Felix Hernandez might have been maybe in a day and age when you can find games on TV, and Mike Trout has suffered from this. There are so few people who can honestly say they ever saw Felix Hernandez pitch. I mean, what TV, not in person. How many? You tell me if you thought you saw Felix Hernandez pitch 3 times. And I'm going to tell you most people will lie if they tell me the answer is yes.
No, you're right.
He wasn't in the postseason.
Yeah.
He wasn't in the postseason. And nobody's staying up 10:05 at night to watch a Mariners game.
It's true.
Felix Hernandez.
Very, very true.
169 wins.
Does he? Okay, I didn't think.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nice.
169.
That's
I
nice.
didn't think he had that much.
Yeah.
I would have said like 120. Honestly, 120s.
Yeah, 169 in 15 seasons.
Right.
Yeah.
And think about that. Yeah. And how many people really saw him pitch?
Not a lot in Seattle. No.
Nope.
It'll be interesting. We'll check in from time to time throughout the course of the season. Of course, we're carrying all the Braves games here on this station. Chris, thanks so much for doing this.
Oh, nice. Do you guys carry, can I ask, do you guys carry the pregame or no on the network?
Devlin? That's a Devlin question.
I believe so. I have to double check on that.
I'm not
I think
positive.
we do.
I'm not
I think we
positive.
carry depending on what you guys do.
15 minutes pregame.
Why would you be
Yeah,
asking, Chris? Why would you be asking about
Because I'm on
pregame?
that stupid show. I'm on that stupid show. I co-host that stupid show. I don't know if I'm going to be on it. Darren, you know this. One of my life goals was to be on Nashville radio. I'm somewhere down the road. If you guys get a Major League Baseball team, whether they want me to or not, I'm going to nominate myself to do something. I don't know what it is, but I am absolutely throwing my hat into a proverbial ring to do something in Nashville in a handful of years.
Well, you are certainly qualified, my man. Certainly
Without
qualified.
question.
We'll look into the pregame question, and I'll get you the answer.
Appreciate that, sir. All right.
Chris Domino, 680 The Fan down in Atlanta, and he does do a tremendous job. And yes, he is. I knew the answer. I knew I was asking.
Yeah.
Just was having fun with him.
Yeah.
Of course, he's a big part of their pregame coverage. We'll step away. We'll come back. We're wide open the rest of the hour. 615-844-5600. The McFarland Show rolling along here on this Wednesday.
Fun is in full bloom, Tennessee, and the Multiplier Instant Games are buzzing in. These colorful tickets offer chances to multiply your wins 10, 20, 50, and even 100 times. It's a beautiful day for bigger and bigger prizes, and they're ripe for the picking right now. Find the Multiplier Instant Games today at your nearest Tennessee Lottery retailer, only from the Tennessee Lottery. Game-changing fun. Please play responsibly.
This responsible gaming message is brought to you by the Tennessee Lottery. When you play the lottery, it's important to play responsibly. Know your limit and spend only what you can afford. Set a budget and stick to it. And remember, as long as you're having fun, you're always a winner in our book. The Tennessee Lottery is a proud supporter of National Problem Gambling Awareness Month. To learn more about problem gambling resources, visit tnlottery.com.
As a professional realtor in Nashville for more than 40 years, Richard Courtney is one of the city's top-ranked real estate brokers. He's also the author of 2 books and the real estate columnist for the Nashville Ledger. What does all of this mean to you as a home buyer or seller? Expert knowledge, guidance, and trust. Give Richard Courtney a call today at 615-300-8189. That's 615-300-8189 or online at richardcourtney.com.
Realtors abide by a code of ethics. This is Article 9 in action. Beth, a first-time homebuyer, knew nothing about the home buying process, except that she wanted to buy a home. But her realtor had the expertise to make sure Beth understood every document, even giving her copies to review with her lawyer so Beth could close on her first home with confidence. Complicated things explained in simple terms. The difference between an agent and a realtor is real. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. That's who we are.
Bundling car and renter's insurance with Geico is so easy, your neighbors are probably already doing it. But who? Look for the signs. Chances are they live in a home and have a car. They use money and enjoy having more of it. They probably drink lots of lemonade. Lemonade. And they've probably said something suspicious like, "I'm bundling with Geico," or "Stop spying on me with those binoculars." If so, you may want to ask them how easy it was to bundle with Geico. Bundling is easy with Geico. Just ask your neighbors.
With 13 locations nationally, including Smyrna, Star Leasing Company is a semi-trailer one-stop shop and the perfect place to build a career as a semi-trailer mechanic. Seeking candidates with all levels of experience, Star Leasing Company has a semi-trailer technician trainee program with sign-on and quarterly bonuses and other opportunities such as $1,000 for having a yearly physical. Package also includes 401k with company match, health, dental, and vision insurance, competitive pay with weekly paychecks, and paid holidays and time off. Star Leasing Company, not your typical semi-trailer leasing company. Visit starleasing.com to learn more.
Sports fans, listen to Youth Connect on Monday nights at 6 and hear me, Seagull Boys basketball coach Matt Rigsby and Darren McFarland.
Hey, listen to Youth Connect on Monday nights from 6 until 7 o'clock as we highlight high-level trainers, coaches, and players in and around Middle Tennessee. Give us a call at 615-844-5600. We live video stream all of our shows on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch.
And hear me, Seagull Boys basketball coach Matt Rigsby.
And hear me, Darren McFarland, live on WNSR Nashville Sports Radio.
The McFarland Show. Video streaming live on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube from the Strike and Spare studio.
Back here on the McFarland Show. Good conversation always with Chris Domino.
Good stuff. Some stuff worth thinking about.
Yeah.
The Hall of Fame thing is something, seriously, I've been pondering that for a little while. Just trying to figure out, where we're going here. Because the numbers, it's not going to be the same as it used to be. It's just not.
No.
So,
but that's every sport, though.
Yeah.
And we have to adjust in every sport.
Yeah.
Remember, it used to be 1,000-yard rusher, right?
Yeah.
3,000-yard passer.
Yeah.
Like those days. 3,000-yard passer is just
a mediocre season. Yeah.
Pedestrian.
Yeah.
1,000-yard rusher, pedestrian.
Yes. Just okay.
By the way, now with 17 games, it used to be in a 16-game season, a 1,000-yard rusher averaged 62 yards a game.
Yeah.
Big deal.
Yeah.
Now with 17 games, I mean, really, if you want to say standout season for a running back, I mean, it's got to be at least 1,200 yards, right?
Yeah. For it to mean anything, yeah.
Yeah, to mean anything.
Something substantial.
Yeah. I mean, that's just what it's got to be.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, happy birthday to your pops.
Oh.
Happy. The big 7-0.
Man, and he
Does he listen?
Occasionally. He celebrates it, he's
to be a big
celebrating his
sports
birthday.
fan like he is?
Well, he's also spending the majority of the time like this right now out on the baseball diamond. That's where he is right now. And I don't even know which game he's going to today. But he's an umpire. And so.
Oh, he's still umpire.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I didn't know he was still doing it.
Oh, yeah. He's behind the plate somewhere as we speak.
Oh. I thought I did it for a long time. I didn't realize he's still doing it.
Active. Yes, sir.
Oh, wow.
He's behind the plate out there somewhere right now.
You said TSSAA ump?
Yes.
Oh, wow. Well, I know there's a lot of baseball tournaments going on down in Rutherford County.
Yeah,
I know Riverdale is hosting a big one.
Yeah, he normally texts and says where he is, and I haven't seen today's schedule, so I'm not sure where he is today. But yeah, absolutely.
Oh, wow.
He's out there on the field.
Well, he can
somewhere.
put in earbuds while he's umping.
Yeah, I don't think they appreciate that.
No?
No.
But then that blocks out all the noise. He'd have to listen to people yelling at him.
He's got to hear it too. Hey, Blue!
All right, he's got earbuds
in.
in.
Hey, Blue!
Can't hear you.
It's a little bit too high, Blue!
Can't hear you.
Strike zones.
Shh, my son's talking. Shh. Hold on. Shh, they're talking about the Bears. Hold on.
Blue!
Shh. Pitcher, hold on. We're talking about the Bears. What just happened?
It's a bad call, Blue.
Can't hear you. Listen to the McFarland Show.
I've been out there at a couple of games. I've had to, give the rock eyebrow to a couple people.
Honestly, how do you think wives feel?
Yeah.
When I go to these games, honestly.
Yeah.
You ever thought about that? No. Fans don't ever think about that, right? How about the wives in the stands for coaches and players?
Yeah.
They got to hear all that stuff. By the way, a lot of them family in tow.
Yeah.
Got to hear that dad's a bum.
Yeah.
Or dad sucks.
Yeah, I'm sure the guy saying that next to me has no idea
of course
that I'm the son of the umpire that he's, cursing out. But, anyway.
Let's go to Tony in Nolensville. Tony, what's up?
Hey, Tony.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. And I'll tell you what's up. I've been out running a lot of errands today, and so I have committed to McFarland Radio Sin, and I have not been able to listen to any of the show.
Yeah, you've missed a dandy. You really have.
I have to go back and listen to it on SoundCloud.
The good news is you can do that, Tony.
Mm-hmm.
Do what?
I said the good news is you can do that. That's a good idea.
That.
Yep.
And it's you know what? It always sounds like it's the same show.
What?
I'm not sure what that means.
What?
Is that a compliment or a tag? I'm not
Talking
sure.
about the show you've done today is what I'm going to be listening to. Is just a little slanted joke that went over everybody.
Okay.
Don't worry about it.
All right, then.
We got the dog hearing the weird noise look right now. Our heads are tilted. Our ears popped out a little bit.
I tell you, no, you've got are you the guy that's got the banana in the tailpipe look?
Yeah. That's really what just happened in the studio. You can watch us and see that reaction.
Well, two things I was going to talk about, and y'all tell me if I've done addressed them, is the Conference USA, what they've done this year in basketball. pretty remarkable. Went into CBI, and now definitely going to win the NIT. And I hope Florida Atlantic.
Oh, wait a minute. Is it UAB in North Texas? Is that who's in the championship?
That is who's there. I'm sure y'all have talked about it.
Well, we talked about. I said I watched a little bit or a healthy dose of UAB and Utah Valley last night, but I didn't see North Texas game.
Yeah, and matter of fact, North Texas didn't even take the lead with 2:06 left, and that's the same lead that held up that they won the game with. So, but you got that, and I am really pulling for Florida Atlantic. So, I mean, it's just really remarkable what they've done, and you know the Power 5 conferences and all this other, and you've got these schools, you know, pulling that off. So, I tip my hat to them. These teams, guys, probably don't have they've gone to the portals and done stuff, but I think they've also tried to build their team with players that they've recruited. Now, we know what Kennedy's done at UAB. And that brings me to the next point, Darren and Justin, with what's going on. You know, you really get behind Stackhouse. I'm behind him. He's coach. He's got people buying in. Y'all have heard all the stuff I've been saying the last 3 or 4 weeks. And then you get hit in the gut, Darren, with this one going to the portal, this one in the portal, this one in the portal, this one in the portal. Lawrence looking at the NBA, going to put his toes in the water on that. I don't know how that'll be. You've got Robbins leaving. Wright's gone. And now we're back down at 6 or 7 players. Here we go again.
Well,
Tony, the definition of how to build these teams is going to change. It just is.
You haven't listened today, and I don't know if you know this, but I mean, just think about it.
Mm-hmm.
A guy that was up for Player of the Year in college basketball, his team was a number 1 seed. Zach Edey is in the transfer portal. I mean, I know you don't want to hear this, Tony, but this is today's game. This is what coaches have to deal with. I gave this example. Nick McDevitt. I don't know if you listened to our show last Friday. We had Nick McDevitt on.
Right,
he told us the season before, not this offseason, last offseason, he didn't have 1 kid in the transfer portal. He was like, man, it was like an anomaly. Like, who doesn't have to face that these days? This year, 5. Right out of the gates. The minute their season ended, 5 kids in the portal. He's got to rebuild his whole roster.
Have you seen a number on how many players are in the portal?
Yeah, it's like 2,000 kids. It's ridiculous. It's crazy.
And there's not enough of positions on these rosters across America for that.
Well, there's like 365 Division I college basketball teams, so there's much more than football. 3 times the amount.
You know, that's just a crazy number, guys. And Justin, you're right. That's the new recruiting way.
Yeah.
You know, Stack's got 3 pretty good recruits coming in from what we've gathered. And you sit here and want to get excited, and then you first thing you got to think or ask is which one of them's going to be in the portal next year.
No, what you need to ask is what is
which
the
ones
impact
is he going to get from the portal?
What's the impact that they're going to bring this year? And, you know, who else is coming that's going to bring a good impact here this year? It is now a this year type of thing. I know we're used to thinking of players as coming in as freshmen, and by the time they're juniors, they would have grown their game and they'll be ready. And all that is done.
Yeah.
We're not doing that anymore.
By the way, Liam Robbins, was he their best player this year when he was playing?
He was.
Was he a Vandy recruit?
No.
He was not.
No,
he was
you're
a
right.
transfer.
You're absolutely right.
This is just it.
He was a transfer.
And I think, guys, when you think of Coach Williams, and that was in North Carolina, and Coach K, some of these others, of course, they are up in their years of coaching. But I think when this started happening with the portal and the NIL, I think it has called the hand on a lot of coaches.
Oh, if you don't think Coach K, NIL, and one and dones, and just the whole state of college basketball. Look, it's Jim Boeheim, too. These old school dudes.
Yeah.
By the way, it's Jay Wright. They all said peace.
Yeah.
Peace out.
Not
I'm out of
doing
here.
that every year.
See you later.
No, you're right.
See you later.
You're right.
Because
they all left.
They know how to build a team that way. They don't, and they'll have to learn a new way. And the next generation of coaches will have to learn this new way.
But at their stage in life, they're like,
they don't want to
we'll
learn a new way. They've
let the
made
young
millions.
cats do it. Yeah.
They've won championships.
I'm good.
For what?
Yeah, I'm good.
What's the point?
Yep.
Well, Darren, I did hear, and Justin, just a tad bit of the first part of the opening before I had to go run some errands. But you were talking about the baseball rules. Boy, it's going to be fun to see how it really comes into play now.
Mm-hmm.
I talked to y'all a couple of weeks ago about how Scherzer has figured out how to quick pitch batters and do this 20-second in the box, out of the box deal. And it's going to be interesting to see if they're still going to do this little shift, pulling the left fielder over to play right center or right short, if you want to call it that. It's going to be interesting to see. I've seen a lot of the stuff, and I guess y'all have too, in the spring training. But now that it's here for real, I wonder if they're going to keep this up and see how they play.
Thank you, Tony. Appreciate it as always.
Mm-hmm.
Evening.
All right. We'll step away, take our final break, come back, wrap up Wednesday's edition of The McFarland Show next.
Hey, Nashville, start your day the right way with Bongo Java Cafe, located in the lobby of the Omni Nashville Hotel. Bongo Java is Nashville's oldest local coffee company. Get your day started with a freshly baked muffin and wash it down with a hot cup of dark roast or hair of the dog blend. With free Wi-Fi, you can get some work done while enjoying a toasted breakfast sandwich. Beat the traffic. Treat yourself at Bongo Java Cafe, located in the lobby of the Omni Nashville Hotel, 5th Avenue, downtown Music City.
Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if a prescription is appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for full details and important safety information. Subscription required.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 90% cheaper? And you can get it online? Just go to 4hims.com/joy. At Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the biggest brands at 90% off. That's right, get generic for Viagra, the same active ingredient as brand name Viagra, but 90% cheaper. It's the same medication you get from your doctor, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, 4hims.com/joy. That's 4hims.com/joy for your free online visit. FORHIMS.com/JOY.
Bundling home and car insurance with Geico is so easy, your neighbors are probably already doing it. But who? They may drop little hints like,
beautiful day out. Even more beautiful since we saved by bundling our home and car insurance with Geico.
Or,
yard work is hard. Much harder than bundling with Geico, which was easy.
Or it may be even subtler, like,
speaking of burgers, we bundled our home and car insurance with Geico and saved a bunch of money.
Bundling is easy with Geico. Just ask your neighbors.
In uncertain times, you can be certain of this. The Salvation Army is serving those most in need with help and hope. Thanks to your donations, the Salvation Army is helping those affected by COVID-19, those who've lost wages, who have no home to retreat to, who need food, help with utilities, and most of all, hope. To see how you can continue to make a difference, visit GiveWestwood.org. GiveWestwood.org.
Time out.
All right. Remember, we're a team that plays together. Listen, the winning will take care of itself. We just have to get everyone involved.
In interscholastic sports, we celebrate what makes every one of us unique. And in the pursuit of a common goal, everyone in the huddle, in the bleachers, and in the community comes together. This message presented by the TSSAA and the Tennessee Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
The Atlanta Braves are back, and this 2023 team is ready for another epic season.
1-1 pitch. There's a deep drive to left center field. This thing is clear for takeoff. Back-to-back home runs, Ozuna and Riley.
Tomorrow, it's the 2023 season opener live from Washington, D.C. as the Atlanta Braves open the season against the Nationals.
First pitch at 12:05 on your home for Braves baseball, WNSR. Give us a call, 615-844-5600. The McFarland Show with Darren and Justin.
talked about the wide receivers, Justin.
Yeah.
Well, you can cross another one off the list.
Yeah, I bet.
Adam Schefter just tweeted out, former Jags wide receiver Marvin Jones is returning back to Detroit. He's going back to the Lions.
All right.
This is something I saw today. You know, not to keep beating the dead horse because I get it. John Robinson, that horse is at the glue factory. He's gone, okay?
It's done.
But it still happened, and we can still talk about it. Like the draft classes, you know, and I get the A.J. Brown was the straw, but the draft classes left a lot to be desired.
Yeah.
There was a lot of swings and misses.
Oh,
boy. And the misses were really bad.
Mm-hmm.
I was looking, Justin, the last 2 years, you know who's been swinging and hitting home runs? The Lions. I was looking at I was reading an article on them this morning about how they have hit big with their last couple of draft classes. Like this, you know, this run that they had this year, the success, I mean, from Aiden Hutchinson and Amon St. Brown, these are all draft picks by the Lions.
Yeah. They got a guy out of Jackson State University, James Houston.
He was on that list.
Yeah, who went to Florida that started his career. Florida, I believe it's Florida or Auburn, one or the other, and transferred over to Jackson State, played for Deion Sanders, and went as a 6th-round pick, played on the practice squad for half the year, and finished the year with 8 or 9 sacks for them at edge rusher. So just found a real diamond there. And good for the Lions and Brad Holmes, their GM, who's up there. And, they've taken some gambles, and it has worked out. It's worked out tremendously. Now, they haven't got any playoff berths out of it. They still are waiting to cash in on some of these guys. But so far, it's been okay. And I think they have quarterback questions as well, whether or not Jared Goff is really that guy or if he's just a game manager. Is he helping them move forward or is he holding them back? That's I think, is the question for them.
Something the Titans, and this is what is really interesting about the first draft of Rand Carthon. That's why all eyes in this market are going to be on what they do, because we won't know for a while.
No.
But this draft, it is so critically important because of the scars that have been left behind.
Yeah.
For them to get a lot of things right in this draft. And what they don't want is, and we had this a couple times with, John Robinson of, really?
Yeah.
And then the whole national media going, really?
Well, it's
what
a stretch.
Was that?
This one's a stretch.
Right.
We'll see if this one works out.
Right. They don't need that stuff. All right, that's going to do it for us. Remember, tomorrow we will follow the Braves game. First pitch at 12:05. Have a great rest of your day. Stay tuned. Afternoon stretches.